Hello everybody, welcome to another generational gaming video. I am your host Michael. This is part 5 of the Canny Valley AFK Endurance. When I say AFK, I mean it. No rebuilding, no building, and no replenishing traps to get you all the way to wave 26. If you happen to beat wave 26, because it's a random wave, so if it randomly is lucky for you and goes to an amp other than D, you should survive, and not C. Then you should survive and be able to get to wave 29, which is the mist pods. And that one, however, you'll have to deal with because the mini bosses can tear up your base. You might be able to get through it without doing anything, but the problem with mist pods is they break the build when they spawn, and then you get mini bosses to break up more stuff. It's easier just to break the 2 mist pods that spawn with a pickaxe than to deal with the mini bosses. So, without further ado, here's the final base, the hardest one to deal with, and the one that's different from all the others. This base is a kill base, murder base, as I like to call it, because Amp C, for me, the one directly north of the home base, gets hit with mini bosses the most in a smasher wave. And because of that, if you try to, you can't stall. You can't stall mini bosses. Mini bosses do not get frozen. They do not get wall lighted. They don't dance. So you don't have a choice. If you try to do that, they will just break through everything, and then the husk will just destroy you. So the best thing to do is to try to kill them, and to kill the husks too. So that's why we go with the murder base here. That is why this one's different, and it's perfect. This is also the base that I AFK on. I always come here at the very beginning, drop my base, and then I throw down my banner right here. That way, because as I said in the first video, very first wave 1 home base, sometimes kid husks will come all the way from spawn there to find you and kill you. I don't know why, I don't even know how, that they can have hundreds of meters of sight to lock onto you and come after you. It must be a bug that they just don't care to fix, much like every other bug, except for the bugs that are fun. Those are the ones they'll fix. Like being able to use your mythic MSK launcher indefinitely without cooldown. It was there for a little while, but they patched that quick. But bugs like, husks phasing through walls and somehow zeroing on you from hundreds of meters away is okay. It is what it is, and now that it's out of early access and finally developed, these bugs are not going anywhere. Just like pink MSK, I'm not even sure if they fixed that yet. Last time I played it and they updated, they didn't fix it. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not fixed now either. So without further ado, let's show you the final base. As again, all my bases, they have a 3x3 box around them with triangles for the roof, always in the center, a floor for your base, and a triangle to protect it. This one again doesn't get much lobbers, so you can use 4 anti-airs is good enough to protect you in case something does decide to chuck at you, like a flinger or a lobber. From there, we have one wall out here for protection in case they break this one wall here. They'll be able to just walk right through, so this stops them from bothering. I always have jump pads around every base, and that's because it's for your constructor to get up there. Directly attached to the base, we have just a random wall, or floor, I mean, to connect it to the builds out here so your base can affect them. Without this, your base won't affect the roof and all that. in all those builds. So it's best to have just the floor here. Also, you could throw your base here on this, and it would still, if you use Mega Base Kyle, should protect all this and still do a lot of this. But it would go further out for this stuff, but it's not necessary. So up here we got a half. Let's see if I can show it to you. We got a floor here that's a ice trap, freeze trap, with a triangle. This is because right here is a ramp. Behind these two walls is a ramp that they could walk up and attack your base right here. So that's why you got to have the extra wall here to stop them from walking past it. But you want a little bit extra defense in case they break said wall. They just don't have free reign on the rest of your base. So that's why there's a wall launchers on the corner here to push them away, and there's a broadside there to kill them if they decide to stand there and attack. That's why that's there and that's there. That's why there's floors under here, but triangles, because they got to break the floor, then the triangle. So it's added protection. It gets them all to pretty much walk around to come up this ramp instead, since it's free reign. And then down here, this is blocked off with broadsides all around it. You can see it from up top here. We got floor launchers here because we got the ramps here. Now, they might get blocked by this, but still, pretty much, this is for just the hostile lands here. Getting it to fall back here. I mean, if it makes it here, your base is probably destroyed beyond belief anyway. So, I mean, you can go with either or. Maybe tar traps instead. Don't even bother with this. I mean, if you do tar traps here, I would put a ceiling here. 2 ceilings. And a wall to connect them. 2 walls. And put tire traps there to drop. That way, if a smasher comes running up, they'll run up, get stopped by the tar trap, and then you might be able to kill them before they do damage. But most likely not, because the smashers at wave 23 are pretty freaking strong, and they will pretty much destroy almost the whole base. But the other husks will not make it through. Anyways, we got 2 broadsides here. Broadside here. Can't build anything there. We use wall spikes here for this one. To slow everything down and add more damage. The reason I don't go with freeze traps here is because they spawn right here, in here, a little bit over in there, and up in here, and sometimes right up in there. So you can't build anything in here. So really all you got is this. So it's 1. If let's say you didn't have these walls in the way and they just walked. 1, 2, 3, 4, because they would do a diagonal. 5, 6 tiles to get to your base. 7. That's not enough to kill them with freeze traps and trying to broadside them. That's not enough. You need more. So what we did is we go with this wooden floor spikes because 1, they got high durability, so they will last the entire. Even if you don't put any durability on them, and they just leave them with that 300 and something base, they'll last for like the entire endurance. Then we use half walls for wall dynamos. All half walls have wall dynamos on each side for added killing. We use quarter walls. Why is there nothing there? This game deletes my traps, I swear to God. There's no reason for that to not be there. What do I want? Yeah, we'll go with this one. Doesn't really matter what you do. But anyways, this game deletes traps sometimes. You just literally have nothing. It does no sense. Anyways. The reason I still use the quarter walls is because without them, they might be able to get past before those go off. Like, let's say they're like right here and he just reset from a previous attack. Without that wall being there, they would just be like, and right through. And it might still go off, but they won't be there to get a hit. I'm sure you've seen that with retractable wall floor spikes and stuff. Like, a husk will walk on it, but it's so fast that by the time the retractable spikes go off, the husk is gone, and it did nothing. Just wasted. You don't want that. You need to get as much damage as you possibly freaking can before they make it. Heck, I wouldn't even be surprised if you wanted to throw one of these bad boys right there. You could if you wanted to. But so we used the wall dynamos on all the half walls, all quarter walls, to keep them, make sure they thoroughly hit all the stuff as much as possible. Here it doesn't really matter because this is spawn, so they can't walk here, so they gotta pretty much get up here anyway to walk through it. So, and they'll get hit. That's no worry. Now, you're probably wondering why on earth somebody would leave level 1, tier 1 metal roofs with traps on them. Okay, let me explain why I did this. Okay, and why there's tire traps up top. Now, tire traps are up here and spaced the way they are. See how there's nothing one space away from these built from here and from here, like this. Like why there's no trap like there, and there's none right in here, because they spawn up here, and they will, if you have a thing there, they'll just drop and walk along. We don't want that. Same as over here. They'll just drop and walk along, and you won't get damaged. Same as over here. Sometimes they would go out of their way to, if you actually had traps here for them to land on, and here, they would literally fall on them and walk. They will go this way. Why did this game get... Oh my god. See what I mean? The game deletes my traps. I had traps here. Ay, ay, ay. Anyways. So, anyways. That's the reason why there's this gap in here. That's why you don't want to place anything in those spots. Because they'll walk on top, and you don't want that. Now, the reason there is level tier 1 here, level 1 metal, it's because what you want is, you want these traps to work, but you need them to be destroyed before they run out. Why? Because if you don't run this like this, if you don't have this little level here, these tire traps will get used up so fast in the previous waves. That come wave 23 with the smashers, and wave, I believe it's 28 in Canny, which is the mini boss wave for you. You will literally have nothing to protect you. The husk will just walk right in and blow up your base. You will lose. You will lose. You have to do this if you want to be able to survive. You need to have traps long enough to survive, because C gets hit hard with mini bosses and smashers. And it's usually from the east side. And there's, like I counted before, there's only like 7 tiles for them to walk on. So the traps get used up quick. So what you want is tier 1 metal, because by the time these traps get used up, these will be this floor will get destroyed, and when it's destroyed, then the tire traps will start to work. So it's like a double. It's a way to prolong the usage of traps here. The problem with this is, though, it's pure randomness if it's going to work correctly or not. At first I had tier 2 here, and they weren't being destroyed, so I moved them to tier 1. Then I had wood here instead, because the tier 1 sometimes survives instead of being destroyed, and all the wood was gone. But this should hold out. If you find that for some reason they're not being destroyed, but the traps are gone, switch it to wood. It would be from, I believe, this one here to these would be switch to wood instead. Maybe even brick might work, because they don't get as much damage done to them as the other ones, but I'm pretty sure they'll all break the way they are, and then you get to use your tire traps longer. Now the tire traps I have going... No, that's good. Actually, you know what? We'll start from the other side. I'll start from the base. So you got your two staircases here from the base. From there, we'll just start from this part right here. So you fill all this in, the floors, all this except for right here. You do not want floors there. In case a husk is up there, it'll just walk along. They don't spawn up there because that's just a single tower of rock, so they won't spawn there. So you can touch here, but you don't want to here because they do spawn there. They do spawn up here, so they would just walk. And here they don't spawn up top, but they do spawn in that hole. And you can't build there for some reason. Just like you can't build here for some reason. I explained this in the other one. As you can tell, it's not even touching the wall. So I'm not sure why, but you can't build there and you can't build there. So that's why. But everywhere else, I mean, you could put one here if you wanted to. But this will mostly get used for, like, A gets kind of the part of the kill base. That's another reason why these traps run out quicker, because A also spawns down in here, and you can't differentiate between A and C, because C will spawn the whole area as well. So you don't have much of a choice in the matter. So that's why you need to go with that double layer. Now, these are all filled with tire traps. This is all kill, so this is all broadsides, wooden floor spikes, and wall dynamos. Now from that spot that I said, now from here, you can fill all this in to right here. So if we start from this point, you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, over 1, and then up 1 more, and then fill this all in. This is all tire traps. The reason it's like this is because husks will spawn up here. They will spawn right in here, right in this area back in here. And because of that, you need to stop them. You need to get them down. Because sometimes you get lobbers and stuff. And you do not want... The lobbers usually will come, because since it's open, they will come closer to try to lob. And that's why I have retractable floor spikes up here and broadsides. Because they'll stand here And because they're standing here, these retractable floor spikes will work better and murder them. And if you were to put a wall here to stop them from, say, falling into that little ledge there, they'll literally stand here and break this just to land on that ledge. They will not drop all the way. So it's better just to leave it open. Why waste the build? This is so that if they do come this way and want to try to mess with your builds here, because let's say you built this, you would have to build like the largest defense. You would have to build like all the way out to here like this, and that's a waste. I mean, like, you push this forward, right? That's here and here. You still need to build here and here. And that's just one deep. And that's just... I mean... You still... Okay, so you'd have to... You break this. You put those two here. You build that one extra one here. But you still need to build one here. And see, I don't have room. I don't have a lot of room for it. That would be pretty much your whole build. And you still would want to put broadsides. Because if they stand there and try to break it, you need a way to get rid of them so they stop. So what I did was I put two broadsides here and wait for them to drop in. If you put one, they will fall down and land like right on it if they can. They will. They will do that. They will push in a way that they'll land on it. So you leave those three spots open. You put this here, which is a triangle, half floor, just a wall and a wall. So I suspect you don't need this wall, because if they were to break all that, they could just walk off anyway. So what would be the point? That's why there's no side walls. If you're going to do it, you would have to do this. But if you're only, like I had it with one, like this, there's no point. They would just break this and then just walk off anyway. So you can get rid of that. So if they're standing here trying to do this, they're just going to get broadsided and killed. What they'll most likely do if they do go this way is they'll just drop down. And then they'll just get frozen and killed anyway. So that's fine. Now, sometimes since they spawn up here, a lobber or flinger will stand right in here, literally right in here, and lob straight over into the base. So what you need to do on this little platform here is put a floor down, two walls, three ceilings, and then a 2x2, and this will stop them from sitting in here lobbing. If you don't, they will just lob and lob and lob and lob, and you will lose that way. And sometimes they'll spawn up here too. So that's what the point of this is for. Because they'd have to stand back and lob, and it's... I don't know why, but for some reason that's too far away from them to even bother. So what they'll do is they'll fall down into here. And I've seen this. I've seen them fall into here, and because I didn't have anything here, they like walk down here and they would be shooting here and then lobbing from here. I don't know why, but doing it this way stops them from bothering. It stops them. And they don't fall and land on here. They literally go here and then drop down. Makes no sense. But hey, that's how it works. So that's what we do. So if we go back to the base, here's the base. We got the jump pad here for your constructor. We put a triangle here in case they're in that little hole area there. Stop them from lobbing. We do this. We do a ramp, and then go 2 wide, twice. Then we put a floor here, and then we go 3 wide and 2 up. then back down here at this little cliff, mountain, you put 2 walls. Because if they do get over in here and fall down in there and want to lob, they won't. Because of all this in the way. So that'll protect you from lobbers. And that's why there's 2 walls here, a wall there, and another wall here to stop them from wanting to come this way. Now this has more. This has a triangle and 2 walls. This has a. I'm gonna change this to a triangle just because it's also easier to walk. So this has a triangle and 2 walls because if it breaks this and there's no wall here, it will just go right into the next wall, or it might try to go into this one. So this one has a triangle as well. No, we want this way. Because it's going to try to break that wall back there. So you want it to break this, then the wall. Then here, we have a triangle. So here we have another triangle with walls around it. And then just the wall. And that takes you right back to the home base. This is enough to stop them from wanting to really try to get through there. But if left unchecked, a lobber will waste its time breaking, trying to get closer and closer for some reason. I mean, the husks really hate you for some reason. And then, down in here, oh, it's easier to do this. Now down in here, what we have, it can be kind of hard to see, but here's the ramp that you come up on. What I did was I put 2 ceiling zappers in here with triangles on top to try to deter them from breaking it instead of just, like, so they can just walk around it. Because even if they walk around, this is a 3x3 tile hit, so they'll still get zapped up in here anyway. So, but if they decide to try to mess with this, here's a wall launcher to send them back. This isn't really necessary, honestly, because when they come up here, they're going to be coming up here and here, mostly here. So this isn't really effective. So you can just make that a wall. It's not. Actually, you don't even need to make it anything. I mean, even if they did break it and broke all this, they wouldn't stand there breaking the wall. They would just walk. So there's no point for it. Here we just do freeze traps and no need for any of this, because this distance is huge. It's 1. Let's say we just do diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. At least 8. If you go by like each tile, it's even more. You know, like here's 2. So they get hit a lot more trying to walk through. That this side this one works really well, and it's got a lot more ceiling bounce traps to work with. That this always survives and lasts. Also, they split up. They spawn down in here, so some will actually go up this ramp instead of going just this way. So you don't even need to do all that stuff. You don't need to, you know, all the walls. Plus, you don't really have the builds for it anyway. Because you got to use this stuff here. Because in here, it's a way for them to walk up. Now, if you see, you can walk past these. But not like, you can kind of walk past this one to over to here. But you can't walk up this one. So, the ones that you can walk past, you could get rid of them, but like if a smasher tries to do it and they're taller things will hit it while like smaller husks will walk by. So, but the ones that they're stopped on, that's why I have triangles. It's extra stopping if they were to come up here. And then you got 2 walls, depending on which side they come up from, and a floor, and then back to this again. And this will stop them from wanting to come this way. And that's why we got the triangle, just triangles and half walls in here, just to stop them. Before I had it open, but literally they'll walk up. They're not going to walk over for any reason when the base is that way. So it's better to have this blocked off and just push it out this way so they just stay in here. And walk all the way through. And this just freeze traps and broadsides the whole way. You know, the whole over. Up here, because this is the waterfall under here. You can't even see it, but that's where the waterfall is. So you just put the walls there and the floors all like this. Another... What? Maybe they fixed it. I swear that was a spot you could not put a wall on. But you can now, so hey, let's go for it. I'm pretty sure you weren't allowed to put a wall there. There was an unknown reason that it was blocked off. Maybe they're fixing them. They just don't know about them, and I wouldn't even know how to explain to them which spot doesn't allow you to build. But I can't imagine I built all these walls and decided, hey, let's not put a wall here. Like, it makes no sense. Anyways, broadsides and wall on the walls, and freeze traps on the bottom, tire traps up top. You know what? I don't know if people know this, but putting tire traps 3 tiles high minimum, maximum 2, because they only work that way. They get the most bounce for their tires and do the most amount of damage when they're 3 tiles high. That's why I didn't continue with this build over in here. For one, if they spawn up there, they would just walk on top of these. 2, it's only 2 tiles high. We don't want that. We want 3 tiles high for the maximum amount of damage. This is 3 tiles high. See, 1, 2, 3. Same as all down in there. Why there's that there, I don't know. I mean, if a lobber's gonna stand there and try to lob, she's gonna die, so it doesn't really matter. Now this, sometimes the lobbers will stand right here and go to lob, but they can't when there's a wall right in their way like this. So from here, you just put up 1 wall and like that. You don't wanna waste your time with that because they'll just break it. You don't want to have it like this because they'll just walk. So you do it here, away from the thing, and like this. And that's enough to stop them from being able to do anything. Okay, now, this is that ramp I was telling you about that they walk up on. Sometimes they'll go this way. Sometimes they'll go this way. Sometimes spawns kind of change a little bit, so you don't want to really waste your time doing something like this. Just to have them spawn like right here and the build breaks and then they just break it anyway. It's better just to do this. This freeze traps right here. You put a wall launcher here so they don't stand here and try to break this. Wall launch them all the way back to like here. This is where they'll go. All the way out to here. And then for the other ramp, same thing, some wall launchers, or broadsides with a wall launcher, and just 2 ceiling zappers, because it's only 2 tiles high. You don't want to waste the tire trap because you won't get maximum amount of damage. So, don't waste putting up, say like that, because they're not going to break it. So, and you don't want to do it here. That's only 1 tile. Plus, they don't really come from here a lot. They come mostly from down in there. So, this is enough to kill them. This took a lot less time than I thought this one would. Because this is the hardest. Takes a lot more work, but it's more open, I guess, with none of the builds being here. Plus, this gets a smasher wave, and smashers are annoying. They'll just like break through everything. But this is the side it needs the most. That's why it has this, because this one takes the most damage. I think I already explained this in the other video, but this is the other thing you need to stop from so they don't come around. This is from... They won't really walk all the way down to A just to break through this to come through, so that's not really part of C, but this is. I've seen the mini boss make its way out here for no reason other than to destroy it. Like, it'll just come right through here and just start walking up here and breaking it. And this is just half walls, or half floors and triangles to protect it. The reason I want you put that out there in that one hole is because this is where it ends up, and you don't want them walking on top of this or even bothering to try to do this. You don't want to give them a way to cut out all this. I mean, I suppose you could try doing like if you were going to do this, you'd have to break this one and this one. Because if you were to do this, they would just stand there at the corner and just break this instead. But, I mean, you could do floor traps and broadsides in here. But, really, I mean, what? What's that, 2 tiles for them to walk through? Not really going to do that much damage. It's better to have them just walk through all this. What else? I think that's it. That's it for C. I'm just walking around it again so you can see it more. I went through everything. So even if you're not sure, you just go back and look at the video, you'll see every part of the building. You can just pause and make it exactly that same way. But if you do this can even pass mini boss wave 28 without any interference. You can just let them, the husks will get to about right here, but they never pass this point. They all die by the time they get here. Even though all this will be destroyed, all this, they'll break all the walls around it. It'll just be a floating mushroom top. It'll still survive. It will still work. That's when the mini boss decided to go back and start destroying this instead, because it had nothing to do up in here. But this will work. This is my own little idea. I thought of it myself. I didn't get it from anybody else. And it works. It helps you double up on your traps. These get used up. They get blown up by propanes, and then when they're finally done, then the tire traps work and you get to save your tire traps the whole time. Without it, you will not pass wave 28. There will be nothing left. And they'll just come right through. And you'll lose. This is the only way you can do it and survive. I hope you enjoyed this 5-part series of my Canny Endurance AFK. You can always get at least over 400 legendary perk ups with this. You can easily beat your endurance if you build this way. Doesn't matter really what perks you use. You can go full durability, or crit damage, crit rating, damage, some durability, effect duration, whatever. It really, it's endurance. None of these things are gonna last long, but you don't want them to just like fall apart in in the first wave. You don't want everything gone. So, but if you have any questions, leave a comment. If you want to see more of this, like I'm trying to do my Twine, but Twine got messed up with the new update where they despawn, so that makes it a little harder to plan and do. But Canny is a much easier one to deal with than Twine, and you get about the same amount of perk ups. About. A full Twine is like, what, 600, 700 tops on like legendary perks, but you can get like 600 for doing a full Canny. Like 100 less, but a lot easier to deal with and maintain. I'd rather go with this one. This one's constantly been working for me. I've been doing it every day, non-stop. I'll just go do it and then go do something else. Play a different game, go eat, go watch TV, watch a movie, come back, bam. Few hundred perk ups for nothing. So don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, GG.